guys, this is Jaisri. Today I'm here to discuss the topic which is small but yet most important, that is renin angiotensinogen aldosterone system. So moving on to this system, oh god, to seem this complicated one, but don't worry. Today I'm here to explain it in a very easy and a detailed manner. So don't bother this. So coming to renin angiotensinogen aldosterone mechanism, I think some of you may have doubt why it is that important. What makes this system the most important one? Nothing but it is a hormonal control mechanism which controls hemodynamic stability by regulating blood pressure, fluid volume, sodium potassium balance, and not only this but also water reabsorption. As water reabsorption, we can say there is a chance of less dehydration, which is the most important for a living being. The another thing is how it is triggered. Yes, the factors that triggers are sodium and blood pressure. At a times where sodium and blood pressure are decreased, we can notice the blood pressure decreases when accidents. At the times of accident, we can see a lot of loss of blood, which makes the blood pressure decreases, and sodium where secretion is more and sodium reabsorption is less in the nephron. Not only this, but there is also dehydration where water reabsorption is less and water secretion is high, which leads to severe dehydration. These factors are detected by the baroreceptor that present in aorta and carotid arteries. So they transmit these signals to the brain stem, leading to various corrective sympathetic reflexes. So we can say that one such is this reflex that sympathetic fibers stimulated the granule cells to secrete the enzyme renin, where we can see renin is secreted from Jutax glomerular cells in the nephrons of the kidney. When there is sense change in renal perfusion pressure via stretch receptor and also macula densa. So moving on to how renin is participated in this mechanism, that is when angiotensinogen, which is 453 amino acid of alpha globulin, it is a precursor molecule of angiotensinogen 2 and the substrate for renin. So this angiotensinogen, which is released from the liver, is converted into angiotensin 1 of 10 amino acid by the help of renin. So this angiotensin 1 now is converted by help of ACE, that is angiotensinogen converting enzyme, which is produced from the pulmonary circulation of the lungs, which converts angiotensin 1 to angiotensin 2 of 8 amino acids. So this angiotensinogen is released from the lungs. It is converted by renin into angiotensin 1. This angiotensin further converted by ACE into angiotensin 2 of 8 amino acid. So at the times of absence of renin and ACE, they are non-renin and non-ACE. Here we can see angiotensinogen is converted into angiotensin 1 by non-renin, that is tonin and cathepsin D. And another non-renin is TPA, which converts angiotensinogen into angiotensin 2. It's a direct conversion. We're coming to this, angiotensin 1 is converted by chymase, which is a non-ACE, into angiotensin 2 via ACE independent pathway. Not only ACE helps in conversion of angiotensin 1 to angiotensin 2, but also it helps to degrade a peptide which is 9 amino acid residues, that is nothing but bradykinin, which synthesis of nitric oxide. We all know it is a major vessel dilator. So vessel dilator means it dilates the vessel where the chance of decrease in blood pressure as vessel is dilated, also known as vasodilator. So this all happens in a tissue level. So to counterattack this mechanism, angiotensin 2 acts with 81 receptor, which is present in smooth muscle walls of the vascular endothelium for impaired nitric oxide. So as nitric oxide is impaired, major vessel dilator is impaired or inhibited. So angiotensin 2 acts with 81 receptor to give impaired nitric oxide. So vessel dilator is decreases, so vessel is no longer dilated. So now vessel tends to contract more and more, causing vessel constriction, also known as vasoconstriction. So not only this, at the times of this mechanism, 81 receptor stimulates, causing adrenal gland to release aldosterone. We know that aldosterone is a sodium retentor or a sodium reabsorptor. So as sodium retention is happened from the urine, sweat glands and also blood by making the high osmolarity of the extracellular fluid. So sodium retention and sodium reabsorption and also vasoconstriction. These two ways helps to increase what? Blood pressure. So now the blood pressure is increased. Not only this, but there is also another mechanism, that is angiotensin 2, which triggers for the thirst. Not only triggers thirst, but also it helps for wantedness of more sodium for the body, acts on hypothalamus and pituitary gland of the brain to produce antidiuretic hormone. So as an antidiuretic hormone ADH, we know it is a vasopressin, as vasopressin helps for water reabsorption. So now water reabsorption increases in nephrons, so that there is chance of decrease in dehydration and more hydration of the body. So as water reabsorption increases, the volume of the water increases, causing the increase in blood pressure. So by this helps for increase in blood pressure. Now angiotensin 2 acts on brain hypothalamus, vasoconstrictor, and also on adrenal gland to produce aldosterone. So these three helps to increase in blood pressure. But there are some cases where high blood pressure, where is severe high blood pressure. So this happens at the times where molecules have disturbance in function or alter their functions in RAAS of renin angiotensin aldosterone system, which causes high blood pressure in the arterial, leading to the arterial hypertension. So at this time of arterial hypertension, in these cases nowadays they are using some drugs like MR antagonism. MR antagonism is used for inhibit aldosterone. It is a diuretic drug, so this aldosterone is inhibited. So it is a stop of sodium reabsorption. As sodium reabsorption is inhibited, there is chance to treat chronic heart failures. And also moreover ACE inhibitor and ATR antagonism. ACE inhibitor is when ACE is inhibited, there is no chance of conversion of angiotensin 1 to angiotensin 2, and there is no chance of acting on hypothalamus and vasoconstrictor and also on adrenal gland of aldosterone. Coming to ATR antagonism, as ATR receptor is inhibited, there is no chance of impaired nitric oxide. So not only this lowering blood pressure, but these also has a great additional benefit beside all of this. So not only low blood pressure but also severe high blood pressure, both are curse for the living human being. So we have to maintain these blood pressures between high and low. So this is overall RAAS, renin angiotensin aldosterone mechanism. Thank you.